All right, my name's Gil. I used to be known as Stranger from North Hollywood Boyz. That's in the Valley, 818. I'm what?
Kev Mac video. You know this is for sure. Kev Mac video. Open your soul, represent your ghetto, baby. Kev Mac video. You know this is for sure. Kev Mac video. Open your soul, represent your ghetto. Hold up. For the dime moves and the lokes, for the 6-4s on spokes, for the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole, for the homegirls with the scrap game, little homies that gang bang, from Pelican Bay to YA, rearrange your mind frame. Yeah, I know what you've been through, shit you had to go tend to. Your mama gave birth on the turf, I know them killers you kin to. This for the lost generation, broke as hell, mad and impatient. But if you know your history, you can't have a strong foundation, baby. Kev Mac video. You know this is for sure. Kev Mac video. Open your soul, represent your ghetto, baby. Kev Mac video. You know this is for sure. Kev Mac video. Open your soul, represent your ghetto, baby.
I was born actually in Honduras, man, Central America. I was born in '75. My mom's left me and my brother over there. We came when I think I was around 6 years old in '81. I came straight to North Hollywood in '81, and that's where I started kind of seeing the gang shit, like around '84 when I was at Oxnard Street School, elementary school, and then I went to junior high, and in '89, 14 years old, I got put into my neighborhood. Homie.
Wow, so look. Did you guys get amnesty through the Reagan thing in '86 or what?
You know what? I always thought that, but I asked my mom, and she said no.
I believe in the idea of amnesty for those who have put down roots and who have lived here, even though sometime back they may have entered illegally.
She came over here. She came here illegally.
No administration that I know has established the relationship that we have with our Latin friends. But as long as they have an economy that leaves so many people in dire poverty and unemployment, they are going to seek that employment across our borders. And we work with those other countries.
We actually flew on a plane over here. My mom got her hustle on. My mom was a dope dealer. She was a slang cocaine. And she came over here, and her main objective, and people would sit there and think she wasn't a good mom, she was this. My mom was a mom, a dad, a gangster, all in one, man. And her main objective was always to get us our citizenship papers, not just our papers, because our papers, I would have been deported already. They tried to deport me like in '98, but luckily I had that certificate, man. Without that certificate, I'm fucked.
President Reagan did sign the sweeping new Immigration Reform Act today. He said it protects the sacred possession of American citizenship.
I went to Oxnard Elementary School. That's pretty much a school that all my homies and the homies from Planton went to. That's in North Hollywood.
Okay. And then junior high, another school.
Junior high, I went to. I started at Walter Reed. I got put on. Then I went to Madison because I got kicked out of Reed for fighting. After Madison, my mom moved to Lancaster for a little bit to try to get away from the gangs. And it was the same thing. I went to high school there all of about 45 days. Went to continuation. And I got kicked out of continuation, and after that, I got kicked out of the whole LA school district. So I was fucking a young gangbanger. I didn't have to go to school. The cops couldn't fuck with me no more, and I thought I was living the dream, homie.
So your mom in junior high, when you got put on North Hollywood Boyz?
I got put on in I want to say it was '89. It was definitely '89. I was 14 years old. Since I was probably the earliest I can remember about gangs was probably when I was around, I don't know, about 11, 10 years old. I used to live on Willowcrest. I was next to the crazy alley where Planton kind of got started. They got started in the 70s, and that was a very fucking active neighborhood, man. And we got a real close time with those guys because we got a lot of family members. Like my brother-in-law's from Planton, and a lot of other my homies are related to them as well.
So the North Hollywood Boyz started in Northside Planton territory.
Well, it's not Northside Planton territory. They call it with numbers. They got like the first is when they first started. Theirs is the fourth. That means it's the fourth Planton hood ever made. So the fourth is a Valle. But in reality, no. People would sometimes think we're a clique of Clanton, and it wasn't like that. It was my homies first got together around 81, playing football. Would go around all over LA playing other neighborhoods that also weren't even made at the time. Some were actually gangs, and some were just guys playing football. And at that time, they would call themselves Bloomfield Boys, because my father-in-law and all my brother-in-laws used to live on Bloomfield, close to Universal Studios, so they used to call themselves Bloomfield Boys. But the rest of the homies that were playing with them used to live on Marietta Street, selling the violence, selling the different streets. And they got together one year and said, hey, dude, we're tired of playing in Bloomfield. We don't live on Bloomfield, man. So they all said, all right, we're going to play a football game. This happened like late 83 or late 84. Whoever wins gets to name the hood. And luckily, whoever won was the boys. And we ended up becoming North Hollywood Boyz.
Were you guys stoners, or just you guys evolved out of that football era?
Yeah, it was pretty much all football era. It was all Mexican cats for the most part. I mean, Central American. We even had a couple of Russian guys, Armenian guys. It was a big mixture. We even had the homeboy Bugs. He was a real famous black cat from my hood. So we kind of had a mixture of everything. It was probably Latino, but it was just about everybody.
Also, North Hollywood Boyz didn't start off as a traditional Chicano gang.
Well, you can't say that it was, but at the same time, I guess in those days, especially the 80s and 90s, when I say you had a few, so if you had, let's say, 3 Armenians, 1 white, and 2 or 3 blacks, and another 80 fucking Mexicans, it's pretty much probably Mexican hood. It's just you have a small number of different races in there.
So before you guys started in 81 through 84, was the
80? Some of the homies will say 81. I say 84. I say the day that the hood became North Hollywood Boyz is the day we started.
Okay, so who was the big dogs in North Hollywood before North Hollywood Boyz started?
I would say the original gang in North Hollywood was Clanton. By far, it was Clanton. And then after Clanton, I would say it was 18th Street, Northside 18th Street, and North Hollywood Locos. In the Valley, you had them. You had the original gangs in the Valley would have been Sanfer, Pacas, Barrio Van Nuys, Canoga Park. I'm sure I may have missed 1 or 2, but those are the main old sets. But in North Hollywood, the original set was in the mid-70s, which is Clanton.
So when they started the busing program and the Valley was getting hit with all these cats from LA.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Flooding y'all high schools. Were there issues with LA versus the Valley?
It wasn't so much issue with LA versus the Valley, but that's when I started actually seeing a lot of black cats coming in. That's when you started seeing the fila. That's when you started seeing the style from LA coming in, brother. It was a different time. You would get different gangs from out of LA. We were also deep there. I mean, in my junior high, I could say we were probably 20, 30 deep, brother, at one time, which was a lot of guys. And then you would have, maybe 10, 15 guys from LA from this set, 3 or 4 from this set, but they never really had the numbers to, let's say, take over a school, because if they had the numbers to take over a school, they would have made that school their gang in that school.
Do you know the founders of North Hollywood Boyz?
I do know some of the founders. One is actually my brother-in-law, Rat. He's 52 years old. Indio is another one. Grande is another one. And there's a couple more I can't name, but these guys I interact with some on a weekly basis, some on a monthly basis. When there's like a big party or a funeral, I still talk to some of the original guys from the hood, man.
Your original rivalry, after you guys went from football team to a Chicano gang, who was y'all first rival beef with?
I would say it was probably somewhere. Burbank and Rifa was one of them, which was over just pretty much territory, just little fights, man. Violent Boys was definitely one of our biggest rivals out there in Sun Valley. They're still out there deep. The guys from Radford, we would beef with the guys from 18th Street. We'd beef with the guys from Northside MS. And I mean, every hood, every guy has their main rivalry. You could have 5 different enemies. You ask 5 different homies from the hood, they'll tell you, I hate these guys. I hate these guys. Everybody kind of hated their own.
Well, everybody has their first kickoff war. You don't know who that first kickoff war was?
The first kickoff war, I would have to say it would probably be Violent Boys. Violent Boys, they started like around 86, and that was like one of the first real big beefs that started there. And then with Violent, they had a kind of a sister. It wasn't a sister set, but it was Radford Street would have major beef with them. But I had my own choice of who I didn't like. But at least in that time, people weren't so quick to snitch on you as they are nowadays.
Hey man, Violent Boys' name pops up in the Valley a lot. They had some notoriety behind them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Violent Boys, straight gangster, homie. I mean, they were my enemies back in the days. I'll say it straight up. Yeah, they straight gangster. They just got hit with the RICO Act maybe like around 2-3 months ago. I had a couple homies of mine get hit with that thing because once they hit it, they hit everybody. It's a big umbrella, and it's pretty much business. But yeah, those guys were definitely with it. Nowadays, their numbers are down just like everybody else's. But yeah, those guys are notorious, man.
So for people that don't know the valley structure out there, and the boundaries and the territories, what's the territorial boundaries for North Hollywood Boyz?
Nowadays, I would say it's probably we're off of Lancashire, Burbank Boulevard, towards Van Owen. It's actually gotten smaller. We used to have Tierra Street, which is the clique I'm from. Bloomfield was kind of dead at that time because that was the older guys. We had the Elmer Dukes, which is more like by the Metro. We had the Victory Projects, which were more on Fulton. So we had a pretty big area of the city back in the days. But believe it or not, we've lost most of it to not to other people killing us, man, but to fucking apartments and people being just straight gentrified.
So look, when outsiders hear Hollywood, North Hollywood, they're thinking the movie industry and white folks. When you were growing up, what was the racial breakdown of North Hollywood? Was it a barrio or was it?
It was straight raza. It was straight raza. This is what I gotta say. There's a lot of people that will sit there and say, "Oh, you're from North Hollywood, you're this and that." If you ran into me in the '90s, homie, talking that shit, I'm gonna put a bullet in you. And my bullet hurts just as much as the bullet from LA. My bullet hurts just as much as the bullet from Watts, homie. That bullet ain't gonna say, "Oh, you're from the Valley, your bullet's gonna hurt less than mine." You're gonna get smoked on my block just as easy you get smoked on any other block. Maybe the city as a whole had nice areas, but on my block on Tierra Street back in those days, homie, we're 50 deep, and homies are strapped, and it was definitely a war zone back then, man.
So what did you guys do back in those days for fun? Where did y'all go? Did y'all venture out of North Hollywood, or what were the landmarks in North Hollywood?
The biggest landmark, I mean, you guys all know it. Everybody knows the Circus Liquor, man. The Circus Liquor is that famous liquor store in just about every fucking gangster movie you've seen. Other than that, we're probably famous more for the North Hollywood shooting. That's also maybe a mile from my house. The Circus Liquor is another 2 miles from my house. I still live in my hood, so I still pretty much know what's going on over there.
Did you guys venture out of North Hollywood in the Valley and go to other parts of LA, or you guys basically just local?
No, I think with our hood, it's kind of difficult to sit there and venture around when you got a hood that's named after a city, North Hollywood Boyz. So if you're going to Palmdale and claim North Hollywood Boyz, people are like, yeah, you're from Palmdale. It's kind of more difficult to branch out in the hood in that sense. At least that's my opinion.
Okay. You got something for him, man?
I'm froze up.
But
what I did want to talk about, because I seen the video that you asked me
Yeah.
about. You said a couple of good things that was interesting, like your mom's walked in when you guys was cleaning a gun. Give me that story.
All right, so it's me. It's two homies from Pacoima. It's my brother, rest in peace, which my brother was from Violin, and one of my other homies. We're in a house pretty much similar to this, not as beautiful as this, but about this big. We're in Lancaster. My mom used to slang dope, so she would come, I don't know, maybe every 2 weeks, stay at the house for about a week, bounce again. So we would pretty much run our own program. So one time, we're there. We ain't dumb gangbangers. We ain't stupid. We're sitting here. We get our guns. That's our tools. We're getting oil. We clean our shit up because you don't want the shit to lock up on you. So as we're cleaning them up, who walks in the door? My mom. So we're like, oh fuck, dude, she caught us with the guns. She walks in. She looks. She's pretty much, all right, cool. You got guns, and walks in the room. And that was it. That was the done conversation with me and my mom. My mom was straight gangster at the time, man.
So wait a minute, rewind. You got a brother from Violin Boyz?
Yeah, I got a brother from Violin Boyz.
So there was a Violin boy and a North Hollywood boy living underneath the same roof?
Yeah, there was.
You gotta explain that.
I went to Reed Junior High. My brother was there at the same time. He left around, I think, was it 88? He ended up going to North Hollywood High. In North Hollywood High, we had homies, but for whatever reason, we would always get kicked out. A lot of my homies were always the ones rushing people, this and that. We ended up losing North Hollywood High. North Hollywood High is actually Violin Boyz because we all get kicked out. Every school we went to, for whatever reason, we get kicked out. So when he went to North Hollywood High, he ended up getting to Violin Boyz. So it definitely made for an interesting young fucking experience. There was more than one occasion that my homies caught my brother, man. And it was pretty much my brother would say, you know what, I'm from Violin, and he would say my name. You guys want to get down? And there's one time in particular, my homies jumped him, and they told me, your brother's a fool, man. That fool fucking didn't punk out, this and that. And then me and one of the homies did our thing, but that was it. It was it was definitely interesting because I always knew in the back of my head if something ever really happened to my brother, then it'd be all fucked up.